Augustus dies. Rome in chaos. Year 69 AD, aka the Year of the Four Emperors. A series of civil wars and rebellions erupt across the empire as rival generals vie for control. General Vitellius raises an army in Germania. Another general, Vespasian, does the same in Judea. As the two armies converge on Rome, it's unclear who will win, but whichever one does, they'll have their work cut out for them because Rome's burning. Yes, that again. The city is sacked and much of it is destroyed by fire. Whoever emerges victorious from the civil war will inherit a burned-down Rome and an empire in sharp decline. This is part 10 of the Classic History series where we look at the big historical events that everyone should know about. And today we're looking at why the Roman Empire fell. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to time travel back to the year 476 AD, specifically September of that year. In this alternate version of events, you are living in ancient Rome. You wake up early in the morning to the familiar sounds of street vendors hawking their wares, children playing in the streets, and the distant clang of a blacksmith's hammer. As the sun rises, you can see the bustling activity of the Forum, the heart of Roman life. Senators in their finest robes discuss politics, while common folk go about their daily business. In the distance, you might hear the roar of the Colosseum as gladiators prepare for the day's entertainment. But all is not well in the Eternal City. Rumors have been spreading of late of discontent among the Germanic tribes along the Rhine and Danube, and there's talk of an impending attack. Despite this, life goes on as normal for now. Later that day, you hear the sound of approaching footsteps. Turning around, you see a young man dressed in the livery of a courier approaching quickly. Panting slightly, he delivers a sealed message to your house. With trembling hands, you break the seal and read the contents. The news is grave. The Germanic tribes have invaded and deposed Romulus Augustulus, the last Western Roman emperor. Your messenger tells you to prepare for the arrival of the new king of Italy, a Germanic leader named Odoacer. In a matter of days, couriers arrive at other Roman cities delivering similar messages. The Roman Empire is no more. It's easy to remember dates. They are the easiest thing to memorize about any historical period. But when it comes to understanding the bigger picture, they don't always help us. So in this series, instead of just giving you dates to remember, we focus on telling the story of what happened and why it matters. So what was the Roman Empire? Put simply, the Roman Empire was a period in ancient Roman history that lasted from 27 BC to 476 AD, when the Roman state had direct territorial control over most of the Mediterranean Sea region and large parts of Europe. At its greatest extent, the empire stretched from Britain in the northwest to Iran in the east, a distance of about 3,500 miles. Rome controlled territory on 3 continents, Africa, Asia, and Europe. By the 3rd century AD, the population of the empire was approximately 250 million people. That's around 18% of the world's total population. For comparison, today's United States has a population of roughly 330 million. How did the Roman Empire begin? As with many things in history, the answer depends on how far back you want to go. Ancient Rome was founded according to legend in 753 BC, but for our purposes, we'll start with the Roman Republic. The Republic was a period of ancient Roman history lasting from 509 BC to 27 BC, which saw the Roman state grow from a small Italian city-state into a Mediterranean power. During this period, Rome fought a series of wars against neighboring Italian peoples, eventually conquering the entire Italian peninsula. Rome then went to war against the Carthaginians, a North African empire that dominated Mediterranean trade. This conflict, known as the Punic Wars, saw Rome conquer Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica, as well as North Africa itself. The First Punic War ended in 241 BC with the Treaty of Peace of Carthage. The Second and Third Punic Wars continued Rome's expansion into the Western Mediterranean. But these conflicts were more destructive and controversial as they directly involved the sack of Carthage, the destruction of its infrastructure, and the enslavement or killing of its population. The Second Punic War saw the famous Battle of Cannae, where Hannibal Barca's Carthaginian army nearly annihilated a Roman force led by Consul Lucius Aemilius Paulus, but ultimately Rome's superior manpower and resources allowed them to defeat Hannibal and expand into Spain. The Third Punic War ended with the complete destruction of Carthage and Rome's annexation of its territories. After defeating several Macedonian kings, Rome would also conquer Greece and establish itself as the dominant power in the Mediterranean. Julius Caesar's victories in Gaul further expanded Rome's borders into modern-day France. Eventually, Augustus would be named the first Roman emperor by the Senate, marking the end of the Republic and the beginning of the empire. Why does it matter? Well, Rome's impressive territorial holdings came with an equally impressive list of accomplishments. During its long history, the Roman Empire developed some of the earliest sophisticated systems of law, government, roads, aqueducts, public health measures, and public works. Its art, architecture, and literature continue to influence Western civilization to this day. In fact, much of the English language is derived from Latin, the language of ancient Rome. Many of the core tenets of classical liberal arts education, including rhetoric, logic, and grammar, have their roots in ancient Rome. The Roman Empire was also home to some of the most famous buildings and structures ever constructed, including the Colosseum, Pantheon, Roman Forum, and aqueducts. Roman roads connected the far-flung reaches of the empire and facilitated trade, communication, and military movement. Roman law provided a basis for legal proceedings and due process that continues to influence modern legal systems. Roman innovations in engineering and public works, such as aqueducts and public baths, improved the quality of life for millions of people. Okay, so let's rewind to the 5th century. Despite Rome's rich history, by the 5th century AD, the empire was in sharp decline. Here are the 5 reasons why. 1. Economic crisis. The cost of defending and maintaining such a vast empire was a heavy burden on the Roman economy. Rampant inflation devalued Roman currency, leading to economic instability. Excessive taxation to fund the military and bureaucracy placed a heavy burden on the populace, especially after a series of bad harvests led to food shortages. 2. Political instability. Corruption and inefficiency plagued the Roman government and administration. Civil wars and usurpation were common. As the empire grew, it became increasingly difficult to govern effectively, leading to fragmentation and decentralization. The last 2 emperors of the Western Roman Empire were only 16 and 18 years old when they took the throne. 3. Rise of Christianity. The adoption of Christianity as the official religion of the empire by Emperor Constantine in 313 AD had profound effects on Roman culture and values. While it brought some positive changes, such as a focus on charity and Nächstenliebe, it also contributed to a decline in traditional Roman polytheism and civic engagement. 4. Barbarian invasions. Over the course of its long history, Rome had successfully defended its borders against various nomadic and tribal peoples. However, during the 5th century, pressure on the empire's frontiers intensified. Germanic, Hunnic, and other nomadic groups exerted increasing pressure on Roman borders, causing widespread devastation and weakening the empire's defenses. The sack of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 AD was a particularly traumatic event that shocked the Romans and demonstrated the fragility of the empire's defenses. 5. Military overstretch. As we mentioned earlier, the size of the Roman Empire made it difficult to defend. While the Roman army was once considered invincible, its effectiveness declined over time. Soldiers were often poorly trained and relied on outdated tactics. The reliance on foreign mercenaries to defend Rome also proved to be a liability, as seen in the sack of Rome by the Visigoths. In 476, the Germanic chieftain Theodoric the Great deposed Romulus Augustulus, the last Western Roman emperor, and established his own kingdom in northern Italy. Although the Eastern Roman Empire continued to thrive for another 1,000 years, the fall of the Western Roman Empire marked a significant turning point in history. It signified the end of classical antiquity and the beginning of the Middle Ages in the West. What happened next? After the deposition of Romulus Augustulus, the title of emperor in the Western Roman Empire was effectively abolished. The Western Roman Empire, once vast and powerful, ceased to exist as an independent political entity. Instead, Europe would be dominated by various Germanic kingdoms, each with its own culture and identity. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to flourish for another 1,000 years. Constantinople, its capital, remained a center of trade and culture, and the Eastern emperors continued to bear the title of Roman Emperor. Let me ask you, what do you think is the most important reason for the fall of the Roman Empire? Is it economic problems, political upheaval, religious changes, or outside invaders? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got lots of classic history to get through yet. See you next time.